Being a father. It's huge, right?
Yeah.
So many amazing moments, but wow, the demands, the sleepless nights, things you just don't expect. It's tough work.
No kidding. And then imagine adding something like asthma into that mix. It just layers on complexity, whether the dad has it himself or, he's supporting his child who does.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. It gets complicated, but it also shows some incredible strength. Welcome to the deep dive.
Today, we're really focusing on fathers and asthma, looking at how dads support their kids with the condition, and also what it's like for dads who are parenting while managing their own asthma.
Yeah, we've looked at some sources exploring exactly that, how dads become these amazing pillars of support, and the specific challenges and wins for fathers living with asthma themselves.
So our goal here is to kind of unpack what we found, give you some insights, maybe some practical things to think about, and just a better sense of connection to this whole journey.
Okay, let's get into it.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Let's begin with the dads supporting their kids who have asthma.
Mm,
The sources really stressed that it's way more than just, keeping track of inhalers or doctor visits.
right. It's about being that rock, that emotional support, fighting for them when needed, helping them build up their own strength to handle it.
hmm And it seems like fathers often bring this unique kind of strength.
Mm.
Maybe quieter sometimes, as the sources suggested,
Mm.
but incredibly reassuring for a child who's feeling scared about their breathing.
Absolutely. That quiet strength, that presence is so important. Think about an asthma attack from a kid's perspective.
Oh, terrifying. Suddenly not being able to catch your breath. Yeah.
Exactly. So having a parent there who isn't panicking, who knows what to do, that makes a world of difference.
So what does that look like, practically? Being that calm one.
Well, the sources break it down. It starts with preparation, really. Knowing the first aid, knowing the plan, having the meds right there, knowing who to call. But just as crucial is keeping your own cool in that moment.
Right, because kids pick up on panic so fast.
Totally. Your calm helps them feel calmer, even when it's scary. You need to act fast, but confidently.
There's that story in the sources, the founder's personal one, about his dad.
Oh, yeah. The 3 a.m. runs an old deli. That was powerful.
Tell us a bit more about that.
He was about 13, having a bad attack late at night, couldn't breathe, and he just remembers his dad without a word of complaint, just scooping him up and carrying him through the dark streets to the doctor.
Wow. Just pure action and support.
Exactly. That's calm in the crisis right there. And also, partner in care, facing it together, no hesitation.
Yeah, that really paints a picture. But it's not only about emergencies, is it? What about the day-to-day stuff at home?
No, you're right. The sources also talked a lot about dads being advocates right inside the home because so many asthma triggers are environmental.
Things like dust mites or smoke or...
Exactly. Incense sticks were mentioned, strong cleaning products, pet dander, even kitchen fumes. Sometimes being an advocate means having, well, awkward conversations.
like challenging family habits.
Yeah, or traditions. The founder shared another story about that, didn't he? The battle against incense smoke.
Right. His family had this long-standing tradition, but it was a major trigger for him.
And his father had to actually argue with relatives, push back against this ingrained practice, all for his son's health. That's serious advocacy.
It really is. Putting your child's breathing first, even when it's difficult socially.
It shows how dads can really champion creating that safe environment, setting new routines, even if it means, shaking things up a bit.
Then there's the money side of things. Asthma isn't cheap.
No. Doctor visits, meds, maybe hospital stays, missed work or school. It adds up. And kids can worry about that, feel like a burden.
So how do dads help there?
Well, obviously managing the bills and insurance helps, but the sources emphasize the emotional reassurance, acting as that financial shield.
Like what the founder's dad used to say.
Exactly. He recalled his father telling him again and again, even when he was older, don't worry about the money, just focus on getting better. I'm there with you.
Just imagine hearing that. Takes
Yeah.
a huge weight off.
Right, it lets the child just focus on healing, knowing their dad's got their back financially, that their health is the priority, removes so much potential stress.
Okay, and the last piece of this puzzle for supporting dads, being a partner in care.
Yeah, actively sharing the load. Asthma management is ongoing. So the sources talk about dads going to appointments, really understanding the treatment plan, asking questions.
Not just leaving it all to one parent.
Right, sharing tasks like giving meds, tracking symptoms, updating the action plan, and also, importantly, encouraging kids to be active safely.
Finding things they can do despite the asthma.
Exactly, like swimming or walking. Building their confidence, showing them asthma doesn't have to limit everything. It's about being involved day in, day out.
So all these actions, the calm presence, the advocacy, the reassurance, the partnership, they just add up, don't they? Like in the founders' stories, they really shape how a kid grows up with asthma.
Absolutely. That fatherly support is just invaluable. Okay, so should we switch focus now?
Yeah, let's look at the other side, the fathers who actually have asthma themselves. That adds a whole different layer, doesn't it?
It really does. Parenting is demanding enough, physically, emotionally. Add a chronic illness that affects your breathing, your energy. The challenges definitely multiply.
What kind of specific hurdles did the sources mention for these dads?
Well, one big one is fatigue. It just hits harder. Parenting is exhausting anyway.
Tell me about it.
Right. But with asthma, you've got underlying inflammation, maybe poor sleep from coughing or wheezing at night.
Oh yeah, the night symptoms?
Plus, side effects from meds, like steroids, can mess with sleep and mood too. So that baseline exhaustion gets amplified.
That sounds really tough. And what about stress?
That's another huge factor because parenting, stress, toddler tantrums, school worries, emergencies, you name it, it's not just mental for someone with asthma, it can physically trigger symptoms.
So staying calm isn't just good parenting advice. It's like a medical necessity.
Pretty much. The sources point out that challenge trying to regulate yourself and manage a stressful parenting situation when your own body might be reacting with breathlessness or tightness.
Wow. And alongside that, I imagine there's a mental load. Guilt, maybe?
Definitely. The sources talked about that fathers wrestling with self-doubt, asking themselves, am I doing enough? Can I physically keep up?
Like worrying about limitations.
Yeah, things like, what if I can't chase my kid in the park? Or feeling anxious before family things, thinking, what if I have a flare-up during the holiday dinner or the school concert? That guilt can be really heavy.
The founder mentioned this too. From his own perspective as a dad with asthma, those internal questions.
hmm He talked about wondering, will I be able to run alongside them when they learn to ride a bike? Or will I actually have the breath to calm them down when they're scared or cheer really loudly at their games? It's a vulnerability that's often hidden.
Yeah, that struggle between wanting to do everything and dealing with the reality of the condition.
Exactly. So how do they manage? How do they balance taking care of themselves and being the dad they want to be?
What strategies came up in the sources?
Well, the absolute foundation is being proactive about their own health. That's number one. Regular checkups, sticking to the medication plan religiously, having that written asthma action plan and actually using it.
And talking to their doctor about being a dad.
Yes, that's key. Discussing parenting goals, the physical demands, so the doctor can help tailor the asthma plan to support that role.
Makes sense. What else?
Embracing different ways of parenting. Fatherhood isn't just about roughhousing or sports. The sources really emphasize that reading stories, helping with homework, just being there, listening, being a calm presence, that's incredibly valuable.
So focusing on connection, even if physical activity is sometimes limited.
Precisely. Your love and support are what matter most. And related to that is planning for the bad days, but without the guilt.
Having backup.
Yeah, having a support system, a partner, family, friends who can step in when you're unwell. And maybe gently teaching kids about the asthma, age appropriately, not to burden them, but to build their empathy and show them how you handle challenges.
And prioritizing rest. That sounds important, but maybe hard to do.
Super important, and yeah, probably hard. The sources were clear. It's okay to say no sometimes, to protect your energy. Rest isn't laziness. It's essential for being a present, effective parent when you do have the energy.
Choosing your battles, energy-wise.
Exactly. And it circles back to that emotional connection. Like the founder realized, good parenting doesn't mean perfect health. It means showing up in the best way you can.
That's powerful. Kids remember how you made them feel, right? Your presence, your encouragement.
That's the core of it. And his point about fighting for breath being part of fighting to give your child the world in your own way.
Ah,
Wow.
yeah, it really brings it all together, doesn't it? How having asthma yourself might actually deepen your empathy if your child has it too. You just get it on a different level.
You absolutely do. That shared experience can make you an incredibly understanding supporter. And thinking about it the other way, wanting to be there for your child, fully present, that can be huge motivation for an asthmatic dad to really commit to managing his own health.
Just like a feedback loop, almost. Taking care of yourself lets you take better care of them, and wanting to be there for them pushes you to take care of yourself.
Exactly. It creates a strong family unit where everyone's supporting each other, navigating these challenges of breath and resilience together.
So wrapping this up, we've really seen the amazing dedication of fathers dealing with asthma from supporting their kids with such calm strength and advocacy.
To navigating their own condition while parenting, showing incredible resilience in balancing their health with their love and
The
responsibilities.
sources paint a picture of fathers really balancing heart and health, rising above so many challenges.
It's truly inspiring. And it's a good reminder that nobody has to face this alone. Finding community, sharing experiences is so important.
Yeah, the sources mention the Asthma Friend community as a place for exactly that, finding support, tips, resources, just connecting with people who understand.
Definitely worth checking out if this resonates.
So as we finish this deep dive, maybe here's something to think about pulling from all this. What does strength really look like when vulnerability is part of your daily life? How does navigating your own breath, while also championing your child's, shape a family's unique story and legacy?
Hmm. A powerful question to reflect on. How those intersecting journeys forge resilience.